Hello, I'm painting a portrait and I'm gonna start painting now. I've done a lot of preparations and it's it's tough. Just the moments before, or maybe not the moments, but the weeks leading up to painting this portrait been kind of stressful, because when I start painting, I don't want to make it all over again. I don't want to fail. It's not the fear of failing, it's the fear of wasting my time and having to do it all over again. It's more that. But I know for my not for a fact, but having done this many times, I know that I will make it nice. If something goes wrong, I will correct it. But the style that I painted, so this is what I have so far. I've sketched it out. I've done a a color study in Procreate. So the style that I want to paint is like I want it to be kind of like this. Like the strokes that I paint are only the paint that will be put on the canvas. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to kind of build up and smudge it, layer. No, that's not the kind of style that I want to paint. I want to paint like precise, careful strokes, very thoughtful approach, like make sure that every stroke is well thought through, and so I've been kind of thinking it through, thinking how to do it. And I'm thinking in the past I've been doing kind of some light contours afterwards, but I want to avoid that. Contours, they kind of help. They create a micro contrast in the edges, and images stand out from the background, details come to life and stuff. But whenever you paint it last, contours, you can tell on the painting, you can see it's painted last. I don't like it. I like to try now to paint the contours first, and wherever we need contours, I will then let them be visible afterwards. So as I'm painting here, for instance, maybe I'll just let the pre-painted contour be visible, and that will create, I hope, a very kind of honest medium format. Like the medium of the paint is put on top of here, and the contour that you can sometimes see, hopefully, will just be a background shining through. So this is also what's kind of giving me a bit of anxiety. I'm gonna try this way of painting. I haven't done it before, but I've been thinking about it for a long time. So I will blotch out fat contours with gesso. Like the background here is treated with dark gray gesso. So the first step will be to pre-paint very fat dark outlines, and I've done that before, so that's also giving me like, well, whenever I start, there's no way going back. But as I'm then starting to paint the colors, I can cover them, so it's not like I'm ruining everything. But one other thing that I've failed with before is vivid highlights. I want these highlights to be very vivid and bright. So bright, vivid highlights. And in order to do that, I think maybe I have to pre-paint a layer of white exactly where I want it to be. kind of super bright. So I think I'm gonna do that. That's giving me a little bit of anxiety, because if I paint this color and I mix it, maybe, you know, maybe I use this here, cerulean blue, and maybe mix it with some white, maybe white. Yeah. If I mix these to make a bright color, they will become a pastel color. They will be like bright but not vivid, because every time you mix something, the vividness would go away. So I'm thinking maybe instead gonna underpaint this with white, and then maybe have a clearer but thinner layer on top, exactly where the highlight's going to be. Yeah, I'm not sure. And just let the underpainting kind of give this coating, the overpaint, a more vivid backlight. So, yeah. Right. I'm going to start painting, and I can't show you the whole process because it's stressful, and this is my first commission in a very long time. Mostly I've been just painting for fun, but this is a commission, so I feel a bit more pressure to get it like really, really good. And I don't want to film the process because it's taking away some focus. So I'm going to show you some peaks in the process, I suppose, within the following this little introduction. All right, wish me luck. All right, so this will be my point of view. I haven't really asked permission to show this photo, so I'm gonna blur it out, pixel it out. So I'm looking at the photo, painting, zooming in on details, attending to details. And I think it's really good that I also have such a well thought through color study to kind of make a plan, so I'm not going totally astray. It also gives confidence. And so we got color here. I'm going to bring the palette, have it mostly on my lap, and also I have like a professional photo studio lighting in order to always have the same lighting. Professional, I'm not sure what the rating is, but I think it's very close to 100% color accuracy, maybe like 98 or 99 or something like that. So it's very good. This helps to see whether colors are vivid or not. If it's bad lighting, like a normal house light, it's not going to give you the right colors. So I always paint with professional light. It's going to be very helpful. All right, let's go. Status update. I went ahead and did what I planned to mark kind of places where contours might be useful, and did that with black gesso and a Japanese animation brush. Yeah, feels pretty good. Right, so I've been painting for a while, and I think I have like some of the basics down. Right now it's looking a little, I wouldn't say grim, but it's looking a little harsh. But once the highlights will come into place, and I think I'm on track. And also I've been trying to kind of be very, very careful about the places where I want the outlines to kind of come through a little bit, or the black, and it's difficult, but it's going somewhere. And I see I've done some stuff that I need to change, like the eyebrow kind of got a little raised here. I don't like it, so I will fix that. And yeah, it's underway. I hope I can fix it. Also, I've been going back to the Artisan, which is much higher quality than a Georgian, which I've been using for some time. Just forgot about the kind of tackiness, the tacky nature of the Artisan colors. This is a really, it's not buttery, it's tacky. The quality is tacky, and that is just a reminder of that. So, in order to kind of tackle that, you could mix some linseed oil into it. It has to be the water soluble one. So I've done that, but I don't think I did enough. But on the other hand, when it's tacky like this, it's sort of suitable for impasto painting, which I really like. So I'm very mindful of the way I put on the strokes to kind of follow the nature of the image. Still a long ways to go, but I think I have another go tomorrow and maybe mostly wrap it up. We'll see. I think that's it for today. Progress has been made. I think for some reason the forehead looks bigger here, so maybe I was a bit more kind of coarse of making that shadow there, so maybe I'll do that. And then the black eyes, they look very small now, but it's because these are for the pupils, and the eyes will be bigger and larger. I also feel like on the sketch I made a really good call on this eye, and whereas here I got a bit more detailed and realistic, and that took away some of the charm of this kind of clouded, painterly painted eye. So we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Let's go. All right, it's the next day, and I come in here and I look at the picture, and as I was wrapping up yesterday, I felt like it was very bland. It was going to a position where I didn't really like it, and so as I was opening the door to the studio today, I was thinking, I was expecting to feel kind of medium to low self-esteem about where the painting was going. So I came in here low expectations, but when I saw it, I was actually thinking it's doing pretty well. It's not too bad. So yeah. And also, I was commenting yesterday on some changes I made from the sketch to this one, but this is actually reflecting the photo a little bit more closely, and the sketch I made of him is more accurate to his real proportions of the photo, where this is a bit more loose. So maybe I'm okay. I might be okay. We'll see. Yeah. Let's get to it. Right, time to check in again. This is where I'm at right now. It's starting to come together. I feel like I struck the right balance with that blue highlight. Obviously on a screen is light. A painting is reflected light. So anything on a screen will always be feeling of having this illuminated power. Well, on a surface, paint will. It's hard to create that illuminated power, especially when painting on dark backgrounds. But I think I struck a really nice, a nice balance. So I'm taking a little break. It's coming together. I started out with fairly kind of sinking feeling about this this painting, but now it's coming together a little bit and I don't have a sinking feeling anymore. But one thing, especially when you look at the sketch here, it's, I mean, part of why it works is because it's so coarse. It's very, very broad strokes, and I don't go into detail, and I want to preserve that, even though I'm already getting into more detail. And it is a sketch, so some more detail is to be expected, but I need to preserve that broad stroke. So that's why I've been painting all of this with just one brush, and that is the width of that brush. And I might have to go into some details with another brush, but I want to keep it with one brush. That's something I've told myself many times. To always keep as broad as possible of a brush for the work, because every time I go into detail, it's becoming more and more detail and it's losing some of that stuff that I like. I like to keep it like broad and powerful strokes. So I'm forcing myself to do it with just using one brush. This is, it's fairly detailed. You can put it on the side and you can kind of mold the shape with the wet paint. It's very shapeable. It's a soft brush. It's a Japanese soft, I'm not sure what, it might be goat brush, but yeah. All right. Anything else to be said at this point? Yeah, pretty happy. Also, I have to say, now as I'm looking into the viewfinder of the camera, seeing your picture through a camera can sometimes help make the calls of whether it's how it's going, because the camera does something to the picture. I'm not sure exactly what, but it's just seeing it through a camera, taking a photo, checking it on your phone. Maybe it's because it's becoming smaller, or I'm not sure, but just take a picture of it and evaluate the picture. Sometimes you make a different evaluation when you're seeing the real piece and when you're seeing a picture of the piece. And I find it helpful to see a picture of the piece, because I'm not sure, maybe it's not mine anymore. It's in a different realm. It's in a digital realm suddenly. I'm not sure. I just perceive it differently, and it's good to have this going back and forth. Just check it out on the screen sometimes to just help yourself make the calls. And also, what I do, I'm not quite there yet, but what I do sometimes is towards the end, there's something I'm a little bit unsure of, take a photo, put it on the iPad, and make some simple corrections on the iPad. Like, for instance, every time I'm painting the background, I'm so unsure of the hues. I try it out on the iPad first and try a lot of different colors on the iPad, and then I kind of single out the ones that work best. Also, I told you I'm trying to paint the outlines first, but there will be a moment where I'm nearing completion, and maybe I need to go in there and have some black strokes here and there, and that's also nerve-wracking to do without having tried it. So I always take a photo of it, put it on the iPad, and paint in the correction and see if it's helpful. If it is helpful, I will paint them on the real deal. So the more there's at stake, the more I will try stuff out digitally first. So, yep. So this is where I'm at right now. I've kept going for, not sure, 2 hours, maybe. I'm not painting fast. I'm not not in a rush. You know, when you see stuff like this, it looks very kind of fast, but taking your time. Painting doesn't need to be fast just because it looks fast. I'm very precise with the paint strokes that I want to put down. Yeah, right. More to follow. Right, so we're at day 3 of painting this portrait, and it's coming together. At this point, I'm at this place where it's coming together, but I feel like the likeness of the person I'm portraying isn't 100%. It's fairly good. It is, there is likeness, but I can feel like something is a little bit off. Might be small things here and there, might be some big things. So what I usually do at this stage is I take a photo of this, put it on the iPad, and superimpose the photo over. So what I don't want to show the photo, but yeah, like as I fade in the photo, I could see like I tried to place it like exactly in the same spot, and I could see some mistakes that I made, and some of them might just be interpretation. It's fine, it could be there, but if some of the proportions and placements of stuff is heavily off, then likeness will take a hit. So what I do is, in this scenario, I start to make corrections, like digital corrections. So first of all, I start to paint over stuff that I didn't like. So for instance, the color was a bit too orange, so I wanted it to be a bit more, I don't know, towards the red and pink, and also making this background color early is helping me to kind of match up the color, the overall color. So here are a bunch of digital corrections that I've done. The eyes are in good shape. I need to work on them. It's not finished, but overall I felt like I had too much of the highlight, so I'm gonna paint it in again, the kind of normal skin color, the skin color that is not facing any light, just facing straight towards you, and that is kind of the normal color. Over here I painted up this shadow there a bit too much, and I felt like the forehead and the head shape gained a little bit too much volume in my initial painting. So I have on this side, you can see I'm cutting it in a little bit, so that really helps. It looks a bit more like him. And another thing that I had noticed, but I didn't think it was so severe, is that the ear is far too big and it's too high up. I mean, it looks cool, but I feel like the ear has a bunch of identity. If you get the ear right and also the placement, likeness will automatically be improved. So smaller ear, put it further down, and it's amazing how much that did to make him look a bit more like the person. And also, as you can see below the ear, the neckline, I was making the neck a little bit too slim. It doesn't look unnatural or anything, but as I widened the neck a little bit, it also looks like it's resting on top of it's more balanced and solid. And then I was thinking, he has a little stubble going on. Should I keep that in the painting, or should I just make colors? So I'm experimenting with keeping some of the stubble somehow. It's a bit too much here. So, and also the eyebrows, I want to mark them, maybe not like this much to this extent, but, and also I like to keep a couple of stray hairs making it so much more lively and human. And then I am going to have to paint in a couple of additional outlines. Even though I set out to not do that, I think I need to do that in order to keep it in shape, keep it in So this is, and so as you can see here, some of these outlines and marking some of the colors here on the little sweater peeking out. I'm not sure if I mean here, it looks better without it, so I might keep it like that. But listen, portraying is not only about likeness, it's also about having an idea. And one thing that I really wanted, I want this blue shadow to kind of represent what has been through. And I want this pink to represent all the good things he has around him. And also I wanted some of this blue to kind of peek through here and there. And so some of these kind of things is something that I absolutely want to think about when I paint, so that the idea is here. So having pink peek out here is also a way of me saying you are loved by the close ones, and you are embraced. It's like a statement. It's some sort of artistic statement. So just having a little peek of that close to his chest, making it feel warm, and also streaks of that to accent like a little peek here and there, I think is helping me portray, make it more than just a portrait that looks like him, but infuse it with some good vibes and well-wishings. When I came in this morning, well, I just came in just now, I was thinking it's in a place where it's manageable. The thing with the ear, a bit too much work on that. Kind of brought me down a little bit, but it's very manageable. The only thing is that now all of this is wet. So if I'm to take care of this situation here, I'm not really sure if I should wait for it to cure for 1 or 2 more days, because I don't want to end up with smudging. I don't want the white to kind of smudge out into the pink. I don't want the black. Well, I haven't painted in black, so that's fine. But I think what I'll do is to carefully scrape it off with something like this. So start scraping off the heavy colors and see if I can maybe dry it out a little bit in order to kind of handle the ear. I mean, a lot of stuff is in place also here, so that this will grow out a little bit. Painting this is, I think this is fine. Also looking at the palette to see what's still available. I have a lot of the pink available, so that's good. A lot of the bright blue still available. It hasn't dried to the point where it's to dry, mix it again. So I think I'm in a good place. And the green that I've been using a lot as some sort of counter shadow / contour is running low, so I have to maybe prepare to mix some of that again. Yeah, all in all, Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Right, let's get to work. All right, it's in the middle of the day. I'm gonna go down and have some lunch, and this is where I'm at now. And I feel like I've solved a lot of the issues, and I'm feeling much happier with the piece now. It looks more like him, and I'm feeling hopeful again. To be honest, I wasn't really feeling hopeful before. I felt like I had it sort of under control. I could probably get it towards the finishing line, but not in style. Now I feel like I could probably bring it to the finishing line in style, and I'm starting to be more positive about where it's going, and I'm looking forward to starting on the sweater very soon, maybe after lunch. And I think I'm going to use more linseed oil in the sweater. It's going to flow better, and also there's a pattern there that I think should be a bit more flowy, maybe even runny. I'm not sure if runny is good, but yeah, and then it's all going to come together. So yeah, hopeful again. It's always a big reminder of the process. Trust in the process. In the beginning, you have a plan, the sketch looks good, the color study looks good, and then you start painting and it looks bad. And just trust that after you've come through and sorted out stuff, and it will start to look better at some point. Hopefully. I mean, stuff can happen, but if you're constantly kind of knowing what to do, how to correct it, how to move forward, and seeing what needs to be done all the time, then there is definitely hope for getting over the halfway point where everything looks totally messy, and then starting to kind of zone in onto the finishing line, and it'll start to look better. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy now. Cool. Lunch. Okay, it's the end of day 3 of painting, and I'm feeling pretty happy about where the picture is at now. So this is the current state, and I'm feeling it's coming together. Everything is in place. There is no real standout thing that is missing. I try to implement. It's like implementing a feature. I was really bringing this pink into the shirt, peeking out there, and tried all the things I discussed. I didn't quite get the ear as small as in the corrected sketch, but it became small enough to fit, and yeah, it's looking great. I'm really happy about it. So the last thing I did just now was to add some highlights here and there, and obviously the sweater. I want it to be kind of loose and runny, but it's not really quite there yet. So, and also with this sort of outline style that is a theme throughout the whole, like, it's part of the style. I need to continue with that down into the sweater as well to get it the same kind of definition as the rest of the painting ahead. And yeah, I corrected the shape of the head. It's looking much more right now. Also corrected the shape here. I've been fiddling with the eyes a lot to make sure that they that they are balanced, and yeah, fiddling with a lot of stuff all over. So I'm actually really happy where it is now. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just touch up with contours and stuff, outlines, down on the sweater, and maybe that's it. Not sure how detailed I should be with the sweater. I wanted it to be loose like this, so I should stick to that. But I could maybe add some hints of detail in the sweater to kind of hint at what material it is made out of. It is a knitted sweater, Icelander, and that's, I don't really, I sort of feel the material because of the design, and everyone around here knows that that design is a knitted sweater. But I could maybe hint at some more precise, like, you know how the grooves move in it, like this knitted sweater here. Like, maybe I should bring some of this structure into the painting, but maybe it's not needed. I'll see where we land tomorrow with the corrected outline or added contours and outlines, and see if I can land it. Because if I go into it and try and make it more naturalistic looking, maybe I'm kind of ruining it. I might be. It might be taking too much of a focus. But maybe as I'm adding like the contrasty outlines, maybe they could have a bit of a bob, and that could be enough to kind of hint at what kind of material it is. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, not too shabby. Yeah, so that I've been through the whole journey of first getting the assignment, being happy about it, but also a little bit a little bit afraid somehow. It's been a good while since I did a commission, and then assigning a photo shoot with him and being really happy with the photo, and then sketching it out. Sketch was good, and then a painting, a digital color sketch. Happy with that. Started painting. My confidence really sank quite low for a bit there. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so average, and then, you know, going through the whole process, seeing what needs to be done, trying to correct things that become a little disbalanced and disproportional, and then solving everything. And then at some point, the more stuff that is solved, the more I get to enjoy painting, and then putting my kind of personal signature on it. Yeah. Maybe at this point, maybe I should also sign it. Actually, I have a way of signing stuff before it's finished. So I sign stuff with a pencil, a sharp pencil, if I can. And what I do is that when it's still wet, maybe it's too wet here because I used so much oil, but I'm planning to sign it here and just scraping out the paint basically. But now as I'm thinking about it, I think underneath here it's grey, so this is kind of grey, so maybe it won't. Yeah, maybe I can't sign it like that because of the background. So yeah, I'll probably paint it after it's dried this time around. I'll sign it with a painting instead, now that I think about it. Grey on grey doesn't look good. All right, that's it for today. Tomorrow I will finish up all the work. Or should I do it today? We'll see. It is the day 4, and I don't think I will be painting today, or maybe I will. We'll see. The thing is, I hung it up on the wall, and I think maybe it's done. Maybe I ended up scraping the my signature onto it the way I was planning to, and it turned out it's perfectly visible and actually just perfectly not in your face visible. And one thing that I noticed is yesterday I was feeling hopeful. I was feeling like maybe it's actually done, and I was taking a photo, checking it out on the screen, putting it on the iPad, and seeing if there's any corrections that I would like to do, and not looking at the actual picture, but at the screen. I made the call for a couple of adjustments that I would probably do. And I made some sketches, and then when I come in here and see it in person, I don't feel like I need to do those corrections anymore. I think there's both the fact that this is real and something on the screen is not real in a sense, it's not material. And also the fact that this is large and on the screen it's smaller. It's making you take different calls. Like for instance, it still kind of bothers me a bit, this line and this line, and that there is no space in between there. It kind of bothers me, so I was thinking maybe I should do something about that. This line I felt was a bit too broad and marked, too much of that, so I would like to make it smaller. And I made all of those changes, or a third one. This here feels a bit too dominant, so I wanted to lighten up, maybe put one of these pink streaks onto it. And looking at the screen, even now as I'm shooting this, on the screen, I think that this is too much. But looking at the actual pictures with my eyes on the big size, it doesn't bother me at all. No, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me. And this space, the lack of space there, sure, maybe it could be perfected, but it doesn't bother me when I look at the real painting. And then I look at the viewfinder, it bothers me. I perceive it differently when I see it in real life. And the dynamic range of the real life painting is very different from what's on the screen. Now I'm using a kind of high contrast camera here, but even when it's as close as possible to the real deal, the dynamic range in real life is, I wouldn't say infinite, but it's soft. What's bright and colorful is bright and colorful, and what's dark is dark, but the scale in between is very soft and smooth. It doesn't, the contrast in the real world is not the same as something replicated on a screen. The contrast is much more dramatic on a screen, and also in this day and age, contrast is exaggerated too much. Even in dynamic range photography, it's micro contrast everywhere to sharpen everything. It doesn't look good, it doesn't look real. So, and I feel that as I'm looking at this in real life, where I can kind of perceive the whole picture with all my senses, and not by a digital sensor that then will present something on a secondary medium, a screen with light. Oh, it's different. So I think that although seeing something on the screen will make you catch details in a way that you want to change, looking at it in real life is catching the vibe and everything. Yeah, I'm not sure how to put it, but I think, yeah, as I'm looking at this, I'm happy with it. I think it turned out really nice. So I'll let this hang for a while and then revisit it tomorrow, see if there's anything that I actually do want to change. And also, the man himself is coming here in a couple of days, so I'll be able to show him in person and see how he feels about it. Yeah, and sweet. I'm pretty happy about it. Yeah. So this is the finished piece. I'm pretty happy about it, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my patrons. If you want to support my work, head over to Patreon and check me out over there. It's greatly appreciated. It's what's making me being able to run this channel for all of these years. So thank you so much. All the support over at Patreon means a lot to me. Means the world, actually, to me. So thank you, and catch you in the next video. Peace out.